Okay, this lecture actually is come about because I was trying to help my student with answering a tutorial from a university financial maths course. So in this tutorial, I will explain a few things. First is the Black-Scholes model for pricing a call option. I will explain what is a call option first, and then I'll explain what is the pricing, how to price a call option, and then I will try to prove this part of the formula, and I will also try to prove that the I will try to prove that this is equals to this. I also try to find d the c naught over ds naught. We'll understand what are all these later, but okay, let's say if you happen to be to do the same assignment, okay, you happen to do the same type of assignment that you are asked to show all these, then this tutorial will be helpful to you. So one of the last thing is I will show that this is equals to this, and sigma stand for volatility. Okay, so I will explain all these symbols and what they mean. Okay, so the first thing that we're trying to achieve. Okay, so all the techniques used here mainly will be calculus. Okay, so let's first explain what is an option. Now in life, if you are given an option, that means you can choose whether to do something or not to do something, right? Or to be presented a few choices, you can take up one of them. Option means the same thing. Okay, but option in finance usually is implied there are two types of option. One is a call option and one is a put option. So a call option is an option to buy, and a buy at a certain price, agreed upon price, and a put option is an option to sell something at an agreed upon price. So to give an example first, so let's say today a share is priced at $3 in the market. Okay, a share is priced at $3 in the market, and Bob, a person, wants to buy the share 2 months later. He doesn't want to buy now. Okay, the characteristic of option is the option is pertaining in the finance is usually in the future. That means the right to buy a share at a certain price in the future. Okay, so it's not today, but he does not know what the share price should be after 2 months, right? Why do we need an option to buy? Because at a certain price in the future, because we do not know what the share price would be. If we want to buy the share today, we know what the price is offered in the market. We should just buy it. There's no need to have an option in a sense. But because we want to buy it 2 months later, and we want to have the option to buy it at a certain price, okay, that we use a call option. So he wants to have the option to buy the share at $2 3 months later. So $2 will be the price that he wants to buy, and someone must agree to sell to give him that option before that option would exit. So Opus decide that he will give Bob that option. So you give Bob the option to buy the share 2 months later at $2. So $2 is what we call the strike price or the exercise price. That means in this call option is a kind of the contract between the two person. Is the Opus will agree to sell Bob. If Bob decides 2 months later to use that option to buy from Opus the share at $2, then Opus is obliged to honor the option and to sell Bob the share at $2 so that Bob can purchase it at $2. Then we call $2 the strike price. Okay, then 2 months, because it is 2 months from now, then we call it the time to maturity, which is the T in this symbol. In this formula, T is the time to maturity, K is the strike price. C naught, this is the price of the call option. Okay, why do we need a price for the call option? Because nobody is going to give you an option for free, because it has by giving you the option the Opus is taking some kind of risk. What if the share is priced at $50 in the market 2 months later, and he gave you the option to buy at $2 means he is losing out or giving up the opportunity of earning $48 more. And then why would he give you that option if not because you are paying him something to give you that option? So Opus will be willing to sell you that option if you are paying him something. So let's say if Bob pays him $150 to have that option, no, $1.50 to have that option, then C0 is the price of the call option. So this is how it works. Then after 2 months later, okay, there are 3 possible scenarios because sigma is what we call the volatility of the share price. That means how the share price is likely to fluctuate. So it's a measure of how volatile or how wildly share price fluctuates. So because the share price is volatile or because the share price changes, 3 possible scenarios can happen at 2 months time. One is that the share price is falling below the $2, the price they agree to sell or buy, right? Or it could be more than $2, or it could be exactly the same at $2. So let's say in these 3 scenario, what would Bob do? Okay, if the share is sold at $1 in the market, that means buyers and sellers are transacting buying and selling the share at $1 in the market. Bob, as the person who wants to buy, as a buyer, will buy the share at $1 instead of exercising the option to buy at $2. So although he bought the call option, that money was already paid to Opus when he bought that option. So he wouldn't get it back. Even if he decide not to exercise the option, he would not get the $1.50 back. That is a sunk cost. Means he already given to Bob to have that option. Now, the option left with Bob is whether to exercise the option. That means whether to buy the share at $2 from Opus or to buy the share at $1 in the market. Of course, now Bob can buy it cheaper at $1 in the market. He wouldn't exercise the option to buy at $2 in the market. So therefore, he will just give up on the option. The $150 was already paid to Opus when he bought the option, so he couldn't get it back, right? So he will not exercise. He will just buy it from the market and get at $1. Okay, so in this case, it said that the loss made by Bob overall is $1.50, right? And let's say in scenario 2, the share is, let's say the share is sold at $3 in the market. Now the share is sold at a higher price in the market than if he bought with that option. So now Bob will exercise the option to buy the share at $2 from Opus. Okay, after he buy the share at $2 from Opus, he could sell in the market for $3. It means he potentially earned $1 for nothing, but he's still making a loss because although he earned $1 here, he lose $1.50 while he pays $1.50 upfront. So overall, there's net loss of 50 cents. All right, in order to break even, that means to make the price of the option worth it, the share price has to be at least at the 2 months time should be at least $3.50, right? If it's $3.50 and he is able to buy using the option at $2, then he gained $1.50, which is just enough to pay back on the price of the option. All right, okay, so then the next thing is no, the option is not the share. So that means if you have the option, doesn't mean that you use only an option whether to buy. It doesn't mean that you have the share. It's a different thing. The option and the share are separate. The option price and share price is separate. They are not the same thing. This is something to note. So in the case where the share sold in scenario 3, when the share is sold in market at $2, then it does not matter whether Bob exercised the option or not, because he would anyway, whether buying from market or buying from Opus is still $2. Therefore, he will not exercise the share or exercise the option. He will not exercise the option, or he would exercise the option, but there's no point. So because he could buy from the market anyway, so then there is he lost $1.50 from had been bought the option. Okay, so that's it. So this explains what is an option. Now I'm going to do this video in 4 parts. Okay, so this is part 1 of the video. So I'm about to stop this video here, but I'll just explain one more thing here. So this formula is because I've explained what is the option, and I explained that an option is given only after you pay a certain price. And what is the price, what is the right price for such an option? Like people have been thinking about it, and some mathematician has come up with such a formula for that is reasonable for pricing an option, and it factors into things like what is the current price of the share, and what is the strike price that the two guys agreed upon to buy or sell. R is the interest rate, let's say, because the money, if you don't buy the option, you could keep in the bank to earn interest, and so we need to factor into what is the interest rate, and that will decide what is the share price of the call option. And T is the time to maturity. That means from now to then, what to the time that you can exercise the option, how long is that, right? And then the D1 D2 D1 and D2 here, the D1 and D2 here actually is an elaborate formula. Okay, so this is the log function over here. S naught again is the current price of the share. R and T I've explained, K also I've explained. So only the sigma, this sigma means the volatility of the share. That means how share price, so how much the share price fluctuates also affect the call option price. So N is the N here, actually the whole thing here is a function. D is the inputs to the function. D1 and D2 is the input to the function, and this function is what we call the cumulative distribution function for a normal distribution. If you learn statistics, then you know what is a normal distribution. Normal distribution follows a shape of the bell curve. Alright, so but we shall not do into it deeply here, so we just study some statistics to find out about what is the normal distribution. It will give you a better idea. And also, of course, you need some concepts of what is a function. Okay, function is a, let's say, a number input into this then we will calculate using the rule, the formula for the cumulative distribution function, and we will get a value which we will use to calculate the call option price. Okay, so I will pause the video here, and then I begin part 2 in another video. Okay, all these videos can be found in my site www.hourhour.com. This is where I organize all my videos, and you will be able to find it there, right? Okay, thank you. So I'll pause it here.